Think how ironic that Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and the rest of the ladies on The View spend their time calling Republicans the conspiracy theorists, but they have been wrong about everything they have said over the last couple of years.
Democrats and the media are now unloading all their nasty attacks on rising Trump White House star and new press secretary, Karoline Leavitt.
This could be the most jaw-dropping legal showdown daytime television has ever seen. A lawsuit so colossal, it's threatening to blow apart one of the most iconic network shows of all time. Rising political star Karoline Leavitt is now smack in the middle of a legal firestorm that's left the women of The View reeling in chaos. After a barrage of on-air mockery and biting personal jabs, the co-hosts of The View are finally facing the fallout of their words. And it's massive. Karoline didn't stay silent. She hit back with a staggering $800 million lawsuit that's sending shockwaves through Hollywood and beyond. Behind the scenes, panic is spreading like wildfire. Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin are reportedly begging Karoline to drop the suit, but she's not backing down. This isn't just juicy media drama. It's an all-out crisis for The View, and the stakes are sky-high. It all began when The View aired a scathing segment, mocking Karoline's political beliefs, minimizing her success, and tossing out cruel insults without restraint. But Karoline didn't flinch. She came back with legal firepower that exploded inside ABC's production offices. Her lawsuit is clear. She says the show used slander and falsehoods to try and destroy her name, her credibility, and her entire political future. And now, the very women who once laughed on air are watching their empire teeter on the edge of destruction.
This morning, ABC News suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks. ABC News President Kim Godwin saying in a statement, effective immediately, I am suspending Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments.
Now, words matter, and mine are no exception. I regret my comments, as I said.
Voters do not agree with these despicable women on The View. They are wildly out of touch with the vast majority of Americans, and frankly, they should seek immediate help.
An insider spilled the truth. They thought Karoline would just brush it off. But she's taking this fight all the way to the courtroom, and now the panic is real. Joy Behar, known for her unfiltered tongue, is reportedly losing sleep over the potential financial and career disaster headed their way. Whoopi Goldberg, no stranger to backlash herself, is said to be quietly working behind closed doors, desperate to calm things down. And Sunny Hostin, usually so composed, is allegedly spiraling into fear, wondering if her own words might leave her personally on the hook. This isn't just a legal spat, it's a dramatic turning point in the war between media power and political accountability. Karoline's lawsuit lays it all bare, accusing The View of launching a calculated attack disguised as light-hearted daytime banter. She's not holding back. Karoline claims the show has a long-standing pattern of targeting conservative women while shielding their own. And she's demanding an eye-watering $800 million in damages, a sum that could crush the show's finances beyond repair. ABC executives are reportedly spiraling into crisis mode, terrified of losing major sponsors and their once loyal fan base. In a shocking twist, the hosts are allegedly reaching out to Karoline personally, pleading for a private settlement to make the whole thing disappear. But behind the scenes, it's mayhem. Producers are now begging the hosts to stay silent, fearing that any offhand remark could explode into more legal trouble. Yet, silence isn't saving them. The outrage is growing by the hour. Viewers from coast to coast are calling out the show's hypocrisy, asking how a platform that claims to uplift women could tear one down so viciously. One viral post put it bluntly, "The View supports women, unless they're conservative." That message lit up the internet and was shared thousands of times.
Sonny, you have a legal note.
I do have a legal note. Thank you, Whoopi. Matt Gaetz has long denied all allegations, calling the claims, quote, invented, and saying in a statement to ABC News that this false smear following a 3-year criminal investigation should be viewed with great skepticism. That DOJ investigation was closed with no charges being brought.
We'll be right back.
Bang, Rowan, I couldn't do that at 27. No nonsense, straight to the point, courage, detail.
Karoline's supporters are rallying like never before. To them, she's not just a former press secretary, she's a bold warrior standing up to a media empire they believe has run unchecked for far too long. And her legal team? They're wasting no time. The case they've built is packed with blow-by-blow details, quoting exact lines from the broadcast, exposing how the attacks weren't just personal. They were calculated and cruel. Every paragraph in the lawsuit hits like a hammer. This isn't just about one woman. It's a full-scale challenge to how powerful media figures wield their platforms without consequences. But now, those consequences are crashing down hard. And the ripple effect? It's spreading fast. Insiders say several of The View's advertisers are monitoring every move, terrified their brands could be linked to this growing disaster. The fear that a public trial would drag them into the mess, tying their names to slander and political bias. Meanwhile, ABC's legal team is reportedly working around the clock, desperate to settle the case before it explodes any further. But Karoline isn't budging. She's made it crystal clear. This isn't just about her image. It's about sending a message to the media giants. Her fans are cheering her on with passion, calling her brave, bold, and exactly what the country needs right now. They believe she's doing what others only wish they could. Finally, holding media elites accountable for the damage they cause. The View has faced scandals before, but nothing like this. Nothing this big or this dangerous. Joy Behar, who once rolled her eyes at Karoline, is now reportedly begging her co-hosts to calm things down before the whole show collapses. And Whoopi Goldberg, her signature confidence has reportedly vanished. Sources say she's rattled, realizing this lawsuit might haunt her for the rest of her career.
So thrilled to have you with me. And you would think, ABC, having just paid $15 million for a defamation lawsuit, would think not to engage in conspiracy theories about assassination attempts, but I guess that's too much to ask from The View. I got to ask you, because they said it, are you aware of any plots from Elon Musk to push President Trump down the stairs?
I don't care if he's pooped his pants. I don't care if he can't put a sentence together. Show me he can't do the job, and then I'll say, okay, maybe it's time to go.
And Sunny Hostin, usually the picture of control, is now allegedly seeking her own legal counsel. Why? Because she's not sure if her words could lead to personal financial ruin. The fear is real, and it's spreading through every hallway of The View's studio. Even the behind-the-scenes crew is feeling the pressure. Producers and writers are reportedly treading carefully, knowing that every line said on air could come back to haunt them in court. The mood, tense, shaken, and on edge. There's even talk inside ABC that drastic action could be on the table. One possibility that once sounded impossible is now being whispered: canceling The View altogether, with an $800 million lawsuit hanging over their heads. Nothing feels safe anymore. As more legal documents are released to the public, the pressure only intensifies. Legal experts are already calling this one of the most serious media lawsuits in recent memory, a case that could set the stage for how media handles political criticism in the future. Karoline's legal team isn't slowing down. They've made it absolutely clear. There will be no backing down without a reckoning. And those quiet pleas from The View's hosts? They might already be too little and far too late. Public interest is exploding. More and more people are turning their eyes toward the courtroom, not just to watch a fight between a show and a political figure, but to witness a cultural turning point unfold in real time. Karoline's refusal to stay silent is inspiring a wave of Americans who are done with biased reporting and one-sided narratives. She's not just defending herself, she's lighting a fire across the country. This is history in motion. Her decision to go to court isn't just brave, it's strategic. Legal analysts are now calling this one of the boldest legal assaults on a major network in recent years, and potentially the most expensive. The $800 million isn't just a number. It's a statement. It's calculated based on the damage to Karoline's name, her career, and the millions who heard the insults broadcast live. For The View, it's not just a threat, it's a symbol of collapse. And while the network scrambles to find a way out, Karoline's team is pressing forward at lightning speed. Sources close to the case say hush money won't cut it. What they're demanding is pure, undeniable accountability.
Most divisive and disgusting speech that any president, certainly in my lifetime, has ever given. He essentially waged war on half of the country by saying that we are all a threat to democracy because we believe in putting America first. It's not radical to want to put your country and your own people first. It's not radical to want to have a strong border, a strong military, and to unleash the might of your own economy, not economies around the world. You know, we have seen cultural Marxism trickling its way through every institution in this country. The public school system, the higher education university system, Hollywood, big tech, the corrupt mainstream media that I fought against in President Trump's White House are indoctrinating my generation of Americans into hating our country, hating one another based on race and gender and sex and all of this other BS, quite frankly.
While the hosts struggle to undo the damage, Karoline is charging forward, stronger and more determined than ever. Her mission? To hold powerful media voices accountable for every word they speak. And her supporters? They're flooding her pages with praise, calling her fearless, unshakable. A woman who refuses to bow to the establishment. And she's not standing alone. Former media insiders, political voices, and even celebrities are stepping forward. Many of them saying, The View crossed a dangerous line that can't be ignored. This lawsuit? It's not just a legal move, it's a declaration. Karoline isn't firing a warning shot. She's launching a full-scale message to the media world. The era of casual smears is over. Joy, Whoopi, and Sunny might have felt untouchable behind those glossy studio desks, but that illusion is crashing fast. ABC executives are reportedly locked in emergency meetings, scrambling to protect whatever remains of the show's brand and legacy. But the damage is already done. The public saw what happened, and they haven't forgotten. Especially not when the attacks were aimed at someone who simply stood for a different viewpoint. For years, conservative guests have spoken out about mistreatment on The View. But Karoline? She's the first to fight back in a way that could bring the show crashing down. Now the headlines are everywhere, and the legal proceedings are only ramping up. There's talk that unless the show makes a public apology soon, the fallout could be even worse. What was once a top voice in daytime TV is now stumbling through a full-blown credibility crisis. And Karoline? She's rising through the chaos, turning controversy into purpose, and walking straight through the fire with millions behind her. She's proven one thing. No matter how massive the media machine is, it's not invincible. And it can't silence those who have the courage to stand up and fight back. Her attorneys are moving fast, piece by piece, building a powerful case that could change how free speech and media responsibility are understood across the entire country.
So, how you feel?
I'll start.
Yeah, go ahead.
My takeaway is that the system works. We live in a democracy. People spoke. This is what people wanted. I vehemently disagree with the decision that Americans made, but I feel very, very hopeful that we have a democratic system in this country. We should value it. We should love it. We should protest if the situation.
What still excites you about coming to work here?
Getting paid. I do enjoy a paycheck. I'm not going to lie. But, you know, listen, this is a place where you can come and say what you think, you know. And as long as that is what the job is, I'm happy to be here. I just leave. I go home. I go home to my life, and I take care of my cat and do all the stuff I'm supposed to.
The days of hiding behind laughter are over, especially when the damage is real, deep, and lasting. What began as a single segment on national TV has now morphed into a seismic legal and cultural reckoning. Karoline's supporters say this battle goes beyond politics. It's about drawing the line between opinion and character destruction. And that line? It's been crossed in front of millions. The once loyal fans of The View are now divided. Some are stunned by how far this has spiraled. Others are quietly walking away, choosing to distance themselves from a program that may have gone too far, too fast. The ratings are plunging, and with them, the trust that once anchored the show's success. Behind the scenes, insiders say ABC executives are already preparing exit strategies in case the lawsuit continues gaining momentum. This isn't just bad press. It's the kind of brand damage that could take years to undo, if it's even possible at all. Former employees are beginning to speak out, some anonymously, saying this toxic behavior didn't come out of nowhere. According to them, it's been brewing behind the scenes for years. If that's true, this lawsuit could be just the beginning, the tip of the iceberg. And while the storm rages on, Karoline continues her public duties with calm strength and unwavering resolve. She hasn't backed down for a second, and the public is watching her rise from controversy to command. Her transformation is striking, from targeted guest to respected fighter. This lawsuit has become a mirror, reflecting not only the cracks in daytime television, but also in how the public views accountability. People are now wondering, who's next? Who else will be held responsible for what's said on air? Because this is no longer about viral clips or Twitter debates. This is about real responsibility, about telling the truth without destroying someone's entire life in the process. And the irony? It couldn't be clearer. The View, a show that built its brand on amplifying women's voices, is now being accused of silencing and humiliating a woman simply because she didn't agree with them.
Like we have seen in 2 instances against President Trump. Last week, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris said that everyone who showed up to President Trump's rally at Madison Square Garden was a Nazi. That's despicable, dangerous, divisive rhetoric that is spewed by the Democrat Party every single day.
And while Karoline's political convictions remain firm, it's her unshakable courage that's turning her into a national symbol of strength. She didn't just stand up to the biggest names in daytime TV. She's forcing them to reckon with a truth they never saw coming. Across the country, sponsors are pulling back, legal bills are piling up, and the public's trust in The View is crumbling faster than ever, all because they underestimated the one woman they tried to mock. They thought Karoline would fold. They thought she'd crack under the heat. But instead, she grew louder, bolder, and more powerful than they ever imagined. This was never just about a television segment. It became a war between truth and spin, between conviction and cruelty. And Karoline Leavitt didn't just survive it. She conquered it. Now The View faces its darkest chapter yet: lawsuits, vanishing ratings, and growing calls for cancellation that may finally shut the lights off on what was once a daytime titan. In the end, the show that claimed to be a voice for the unheard is now being called out for silencing those they disagree with. And the American public? They've taken notice, and they're not letting this one go. Whether or not Karoline's $800 million lawsuit ever makes it to trial, one thing is already clear. She's won the battle of public opinion. With grace, grit, and unshakable will, she's changed the conversation forever. She's proven what so many feared: no one, not even the most powerful names on television, is immune from being held accountable. And now, as the final credits roll on this explosive chapter, one message rings out louder than ever before. Truth still matters, and betrayal still has a price. This is no longer just a lawsuit. It's a battle for what kind of media the American people deserve, and whether The View survives this storm or crumbles under it. One thing is undeniable: Karoline Leavitt has changed the game. Forever.